I'm delighted we could have our guests here join us today for this momentous occasion as we celebrate the groundbreaking for the Chemistry and Material Science building, otherwise known as the Choppin Annex on the official bidding documents. First like to recognize members of our podium today. First I'd like to recognize Mr. Joey Tozan, who's president of LSU Student Affiliates of the American Chemical Society. Mr. Sergio DeRoy, did Sergio make it? I don't believe he did. President of the College of Science Graduate Student Council. Dr. Bill Daly, Alumni Professor Emeritus of Chemistry. Dr. Andrew Maverick, Chair of Chemistry. Dr. Richard Koubek, Dean of the College of Engineering. Dr. Doris Carver, Interim Vice Chancellor for Research and Economic Development. Dr. Michael Martin, Chancellor of LSU, and Governor Bobby Jindal. Please join me in welcoming our distinguished podium. And I forgot one person, Miss Octavia Goodwin, the president of the LSU chapter of Novice. Octavia, thank you for being here. For those of us in the LSU community, this is a day of celebration, but it is also a moment for reflection. Many reasonable people, both within and outside of LSU, will ask why the state of Louisiana is investing funds in a new research and teaching building at the very moment when we are facing dramatic budget cuts to higher education that have resulted in the loss of many talented faculty, staff, and the closure of facilities that support our teaching and research missions. It is important to understand that a project of this magnitude requires a decade or more of planning, and those who have been involved with this project realize that it is certainly the case for this building. Most importantly, construction of this new building provides both tangible and symbolic evidence that LSU and the state of Louisiana are committed to maintaining its status as a major research university even during these difficult economic times. It provides a strong signal to our faculty and students, as well as the citizens of Louisiana, that LSU remains committed to excellence as Louisiana's flagship university. The building was originally conceived as a three-story building shortly after the year 2000, and planning began in earnest in around 2003. And as we mark the 5-year anniversary of Katrina, I'm reminded that the state funding that was originally allocated for this project, and it was originally allocated in 2005, the building was scheduled to go out for bid in 2006 when we discovered that because of post-Katrina inflation, a term that became common in our vernacular, because of that inflation to construction costs, we would not have enough money to begin the project. The delay initiated a complex set of discussions regarding the future of the building, and in spite of challenges with funding, we noted that LSU's critical needs for research facilities, the prime location of this site, and we argued that rather than withdrawing from plans for a three-story building, we should be aggressive and go after and use this prime space for an even larger and more comprehensive research facility, which accommodated not only our needs for chemistry, but also our burgeoning interdisciplinary program in material science and engineering. Ultimately, and with the much appreciated support of Governor Jindal and his staff, members of the legislature, and many prominent supporters of LSU in the state of Louisiana, we received approval for the new 5-story building. The state has already made significant investments in attracting outstanding faculty to LSU, and this building will help those scholars and their students realize their full potential. When completed in early 2012, the building will be filled with outstanding faculty, graduate students, undergraduate students, and technical staff who will be engaged with research that is at the forefront of organic chemistry, polymer science, material science, and engineering. This building will extend LSU's legacy of excellence in chemistry research that dates back to the very origins of this great university. It will also mark a significant new era in how we conduct research at LSU. Specifically, 2 of the 5 floors will be used for the consolidation of specialized equipment and state-of-the-art microscopy and microfabrication equipment, as well as technical support from across campus. These common use facilities will bring together faculty and students from various departments within the colleges of science and engineering, and will promote collaborations and synergisms in material science and engineering that are the hallmarks of innovation and discovery. I'm particularly pleased that Dean Rick Koubek of the College of Engineering could join us today to celebrate this new era of collaboration. The cost of the building will be $33.9 million. To put this number in context, the colleges of science and engineering collectively generated over $70 million in extramural grant funding last year alone, the vast majority of which was from federal agencies. These research dollars support the cutting-edge research of our faculty and students. But it's also important to note that a significant fraction of these grant dollars are used to provide the salaries for faculty, technicians, postdocs, graduate students, and undergraduate students, and thus represent a direct infusion of funds into the local and state economy. This new building will allow us to achieve even greater research accomplishments that will in turn further stimulate the economy of Louisiana. As one might expect, there are many people to thank for a project of this magnitude, and I'll never be able to list them all here. I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize to begin with all the good folks who gave up their parking spots here to allow for the construction of this building. Dr. Maverick will mention some of the folks in his remarks, but I would like to thank in particular Drs. Fred Rainey, who's Associate Dean of the College of Science, and Richard Kurtz, his successor, who kept nudging this project along over many years. Emmett David with LSU Facility Services provided assistance and expertise throughout the process. And although Dr. Maverick will thank him again, I would like to preemptively amplify my gratitude for Dr. Bill Daly, who's on the podium with us today, for his tireless commitment to the project. Many thanks to you, Bill. It is now my pleasure to introduce the Chancellor of LSU, Dr. Michael Martin.
Thank you, Kevin, and thanks for being here. Governor, thank you for joining us today. This is one of those rare but important opportunities to celebrate. And let me introduce the members of the legislature we have with us today. We have Senator Dan Claytor. Stand up, Dan. You look good today. Representative Patricia Smith and Representative Franklin Foyle. And to the governor and to the legislators, I want you to know how economically we are handling all of this. Jason gave me the list of which legislators are going to be here today. Look at this. I mean, we're saving paper. That's the whole list. That's all I'm allowed to look at. So note that we're being incredibly frugal. But thank you to the legislators, those here and others who haven't joined us yet, for supporting this. And I want to echo what Kevin said. As difficult at times as we face, great universities continue to make the investments that will keep them great. And this is one of those investments. As I think you know, this takes us quite a ways down the road to completion of the commitment for new facilities under the flagship agenda. LSU produces well over half of the chemists that serve this state across the various industries. As Kevin suggested, our faculty who work in this building and ones like it across campus are incredibly successful in generating outside grants and contracts. Kevin mentioned $70 million just for this group alone. It's about $154 to $160 million a year across this campus. And you think of any enterprise in this community with sales, so to speak, of $160 million, that is a major economic engine. We put about $1.2 billion of direct economic stimulus into this local economy, thanks to the excellent work of our faculty, and they produced 274 patents or licenses as a result of their good work. So this is part of being a major international flagship institution that leads the state in many more ways than many appreciate. So it's great to be here today, and it's great to celebrate this new building. Now I want you to note that it's referred to for the moment as Choppin Annex, which is, in my judgment, not a very good name. And I would love to see someone step forward and help us name it. For instance, well, Jerry and Nancy Dumas Hall goes down well with me, but just mention that to you, Jerry, with you there in the second row. But anyone else who wants to beat Jerry to the punch, believe me, we would love to have someone help us name the building and continue to advance our program. So to all of you who have been at this for some time, and to all of you who helped us in the legislature and governor and your staff, this will be an investment well made. I promise you the people of Louisiana will see and feel the impact of what happens in this building and the others across this campus. And that's a commitment we know we can keep, and we most certainly are dedicated to. And so now it's my pleasure to introduce the governor of Louisiana. He's been busy. We see him a lot on CNN and on various other places across the state, but it's a delight to have you here with us today, the Honorable Governor Bobby Jindal.
Thank you all very much. First of all, I want to congratulate the entire LSU community. What a great day for LSU in terms of breaking ground on this exciting new project. You know, I remember my first year as governor, then Chancellor Jenkins coming to talk to me about not only the groundbreaking of this annex, but the need to invest additional dollars to build those additional floors. And his message was persuasive enough that we were able to provide that additional funding. He said, Governor, we can build a building that will meet our needs today or we can invest those additional dollars, build those additional floors, and go ahead and build for the future. He said, give us the resources. We know we can compete for the best students and faculty, not only in Louisiana, but across the country, but let's make that investment now. And that's why I'm so proud we're not just building the original building, but we actually provided additional funding that first year to go ahead and build those additional floors as well. You know, the last time I was here on the LSU campus for our groundbreaking, it was over next to SEBA. We were breaking ground for the new business building, and I told the LSU audience at that time my experiences as a child, coming to SEBA with my mom when she was using punch cards, and then later to come back to watch my wife study there as a student. I'd explain to the LSU students what punch cards were. They didn't really know what that meant. And then to have to come back and watch my wife study there as a student, and then coming back to SEBA to teach as an adult, as an adjunct professor here at LSU. And indeed, I've got memories of Choppin Hall as well, as a student doing research here as a high school student, and even taking, as a high school student, non-credit classes and attending lectures here in this building. Chancellor, I'm beginning to feel old. Every time I have memories of a building, you guys are renovating or building a new one. It just shows you that it is so important for us to continue to invest in our campuses and not to stand still. And that's why I'm proud that since I've been elected governor, we have invested over $500 million, over $537 million in higher education infrastructure. And a lot of that money has gone to our LSU campus, including, for example, $69 million at the Pennington Biomedical Research Center, money towards the School of Veterinary Medicine, money for the Ag Center's animal and food science facilities, money for the Homeland Security Environmental Technology Center, money for the new business school, money for the band hall, and today money for this very important chemistry lab building. A couple of numbers that are very impressive to me: that upon completion of this annex, total facility space for the Department of Chemistry will increase by 50%. Importantly, research laboratory space will increase by 63%. But I want to close with this observation. You know, I've shared with you a lot of numbers about the dollars we've invested in bricks and mortars in higher education. But the most important result of today's groundbreaking won't be a new building. The most important result will be the exciting teaching and research that will happen in this annex. We know that there will be new discoveries, new patents, and incredibly excited new students coming through those doors and studying and doing work in these labs. More important than the building and more important than the structure that will go up here is the great work, one more step in building a better Louisiana for our children so they can get a great education right here in Baton Rouge and pursue their dreams without leaving our great state. Who knows? There may be a great patent leading to a new business. There may be a new breakthrough leading to a new miracle cure. There may be a breakthrough moment where a student decides to pursue graduate studies in the sciences thanks to this new facility. And that's what's exciting to me today. It's not just about bricks and mortar. It's about creating an exciting new future for our students. So it's exciting that we're going to break ground on a new building. It's exciting we've invested over $500 million in higher education facilities. But most importantly, it's about giving our students the best opportunities to pursue their dreams right here at home. Congratulations to the entire LSU family.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Chemistry was one of the first subjects taught at LSU. And even in the early days, as you've heard, of the old war school, it was important to the mission of the university. In the first decades of the 20th century, leaders of the department included Raoul Menville and Charles Coates. They and their colleagues and students moved into the first chemistry building on this campus, Coates Hall, in 1934. The first PhD degree in chemistry was awarded in 1935. Starting in the 1940s, new faculty members arrived who had a vision for an outstanding chemistry program that encompassed teaching, research, and scholarship. These included Phil West, Hewlin Williams, Virginia Rice Williams, Paul Delahaye, Mary Good, Arthur Choppin, Bob Nauman, Bill Pryor, and Jim Trainum. Many of you will recognize those names both from our current faculty and also from the buildings that bear some of their names. In 1976, Choppin Hall and Williams Hall, right behind you, opened. They seemed spacious at the time, but since then the department has approximately doubled in size. This growth, along with increases in research funding and productivity that you've heard about, and also the need to accommodate state-of-the-art research in both chemistry and material science and engineering, has brought us here today. I'm grateful to many people involved in this new construction. First, as you heard from Governor Jindal, the most important function of this building is teaching and training students. We have two student representatives with us on the podium, Joey Tozan and Octavia Goodwin. They've been introduced to you by Dean Carman. This building is for you and for the many students who will follow you in the decades to come. We would also not be here if not for the achievements of former students as they have gone out into careers in industry, education, and government in Louisiana and all over the world. Second, faculty and staff at LSU worked tirelessly in planning and design. I especially want to echo the Dean in thanking Alumni Professor Bill Daly on the podium, but also Alumni Professor George Stanley in the front row for their tireless efforts toward this construction. Third, many LSU administrators have supported this project. Some of them you've already heard from this morning, but two who were instrumental in the early stages were former Provost Dan Fogel and former Chancellor Mark Emmert. Finally, we are grateful to the state, to the governor, the legislature, and the people of Louisiana for their support. Thank you for your confidence in the continued importance of chemistry and materials science and engineering education and research in this state.